Hello, gentle viewers. This is of Indian, welcoming you to a channel update where we're going to talk about what's going to be coming to this channel in the new year. I thought it would be fun to kind of show you guys some of the games that I've spent the most time on with Steam. I say I with a big asterisk. This is not me. My wife is a big fan of Stardew Valley. I can see the appeal, but frankly, RimWorld is a like Stardew Valley, but with a lot more explosions and cannibalism. So that's my preference of the two games. But all the rest of this is me, though. So shocker of all shockers, Out of the Park Baseball is quite high on this list. Here's The Witcher 3, a game I love, but this is one playthrough, my friends. And I'm so tied up with other games right now that I can't see myself coming back to this for a good long time. Stellaris is probably the highest rated game that I've actually played on the channel. Stellaris is definitely coming back in 2021. No secrets, full disclosure, it's coming back. Here's Xcom 2, Crusader Kings 2. Tabletop Simulator is arguably my game of 2020 because I've played it a stupidly huge amount, both with my friends and for the channel, and just playing games by myself. OTP 21 is up there too. Here is Prison Architect. I haven't done a Prison Architect video in a while. Maybe that's something you folks should find interesting. But when I originally played Prison Architect for the channel, it got pretty bad. It wasn't that well received. So do let me know if, as I'm scrolling through this list, if there's any other games that leap out at you saying, oh my gosh, Abby, you must do a video on it. Hearts of Iron 4, we'll come back to that. Eventually I will forgive it for its latest transgressions. EU4, same thing, honestly. I can't stay mad at them. Fallout New Vegas, it's a story-based game. Lots of other YouTubers cover New Vegas way better than I ever could. I'm willing to bet this is actually an undercount. Because, so for about a year, I lived overseas. And when I was overseas, I was in Russia. I did not have reliable internet access. So I would have Steam in offline mode and then play games. And I'm pretty sure New Vegas was one of those games. But I've definitely played through it at least twice. There's our good pal RimWorld. Will I come back to RimWorld? I might. It's a ton of fun to play it. But I also think it works best in like a series. And the last series we did at RimWorld, there just wasn't much interest in it. Which is fair. And that's fine. Slay the Spire. You got what, like 20 episodes of Slay the Spire in 2020? I think we can hold off on that for a bit. Phoenix Wright is good fun. I would never play it on the channel because I don't want to play story games on the channel. Wreck it for you. But it's pretty solid. Fallout 4, same thing. Deus Ex Mankind Divided, same thing. Fantasy Football 8, I got my fill of that, and I don't really feel like coming back to it. The Witcher Enhanced Edition, I recommend this game if you haven't played it. It was just recently free on the Epic Game Store, or maybe GOG. It's not as good as the other two. It's definitely the weakest of the three, but it's still pretty good. Magic the Gathering is a possibility. I have some of the older games like this one, and if you folks want to see me play some Magic and just walk through how the game is played, I'm more than happy to do that. Although, full disclosure, when I played Magic in my heyday, it was when 6th edition came out, and my first expansion was Tempest. So if you've never heard of Magic the Gathering before, those words I just said mean nothing to you. But if you have, you're going to be like, Abby's super old. I just feel that way. I'm not actually that old. Or am I? Surviving Mars, great game. Definitely want to come back to it. Faster Than Light, maybe. I wouldn't mind another FTL playthrough, maybe. This is a lie. This is one of the games I played the most when I didn't have internet. This should easily be like 150 hours. And then other games I've basically already played before and don't really plan to play again on this channel. Um, Before I conclude with my plans for the actual channel, a quick shout out to Undertale, which is it's real good, my friends. It's so good. It has such an amazing message, and it is at its heart. You could call it a Zelda clone, but it's not. And it's actually better than a lot of the older Zeldas, like the ones I played when I was a kid. I cannot do not sleep on Undertale as an amazing game that I recommend all of you play. The other game that's in that category, not BattleTech, boo. Disco Elysium. I do not believe I've only played this for 18 hours, but I do believe it. It's so brilliant. It's an amazing tabletop RPG, but it's not tabletop, it's a video game. And to tell you that I would instantly play this game if someone made it as a tabletop is. I would do it in 3 seconds. Maybe even 2 seconds. It's such a good game. It's a detective game, but it's very, very strange. And I really think you'd enjoy it if you gave it a shot. Imperator Rome probably coming back to the channel. A quick shout out for Wadget games, in particular Unavowed, but the other games like the Blackwell Legacy and the Blackwell games. Really great adventure games. Highly recommended. There's a lot of them here. Also, I didn't say it before, so boo Oblivion. Boo. In case you don't know why I don't like Oblivion, I've played it once in my entire life for about 20 hours. So I spent the better part of a week playing it, and then my save file got corrupted, and I basically died every time I walked outside because I was made a vampire. I strongly dislike Oblivion. I dislike Morrowind too. Not because I'm a Sky Baby, but... Well, maybe I'm a Sky Baby, but mostly because Morrowind has just god-awful combat. It's just the worst. And I'm not able to overlook that and enjoy what it otherwise appears to be a fairly rich game. But the combat is just so terrible that I can't handle it. But yeah, I just wanted to just take you down my memory lane for 2020. Games I played a fair bit of. Hacknet's really good. Return of the Obra Dinn is, pardon my language, but fucking amazing. If I hadn't played Disco Elysium this year, this would probably be my game of the year. I was on a work trip, and I finished it in a week, and... Did I cheat? Yes. But I didn't cheat as much as other people I knew play the game. So, there we are. Banished is really fun, but I couldn't ever get it to work right when I recorded it. Maybe I'll give it another go, but probably not. It's Startup Company. Firewatch and Uplink are both excellent games, but for different reasons, and I recommend you give them both a try if you like them. So is Batman the Enemy within the Telltale series and the original Batman Telltale series. But we're way down my list now. I want to talk about what's coming next to the channel. In 2021, I'm going to shift the channel's focus a bit, and I'm going to make it a bit more narrow. Especially in the first, probably January, maybe February too. I'm going to drop to 2 games, 3 videos a week. And I said this many times in the past. So you're all probably all softly chortling to yourselves and like, Avi, how ridiculous. I know that you're going to play like 11 games a week. I sure hope I'm not, but you could be right. But I want to refocus the channel on the core, which is OTP21 and Tabletop Simulator. I really think those are things that I'm doing that very few other people are doing, or maybe not as well. Especially now that I'm going to start playing more 2-player games on Tabletop Simulator. Because I can give you folks complete run-throughs of games, and then you can watch, and you can decide if you want to buy that game. Which I really think is a service that not a lot of other board game channels do. Um, like Rado, who's my single favorite YouTuber in terms of board game reviews, never goes through an entire game. At least it's pretty rare that he does. That's because all he does is review board games. I want to show you everything about a game, all the nuts and bolts, and that's why I do these longer, complete run-throughs. To give you folks a few ideas of games that will be coming to the channel in 2021 on Tabletop Simulator. We just bought Marvel Champions when we were at Barnes & Noble, and I played it with my wife, and I loved it. And I think it's really, really slick. We're going to play Imperial Struggle. That'll be the first new Tabletop Simulator video of 2021 will be Imperial Struggle. I want to play War of the Ring. I want to dive into some of the other war games, even if it means that I have to have, like, maybe for a month we'll just play war games. But these are just some ideas about games that I would like to show you guys on the channel. Because if Imperial Struggle works out as well as I think it might, that's going to just open up the floodgates for a lot of other really terrific games that I'm going to be super excited to share with you all. As much as I love video games, and I love video games, as we just saw a few moments ago, board gaming is near and dear to my heart in a way that if you said, Avi, you can either have every board game you could ever want and all the time to play it, or the best computer money can buy and all the time to play that, I would be very, very sad. But especially if you let me play Dungeons and Dragons, I'm going for the tabletop games. There's something about tabletop games that no computer game quite captures for me. Not even OTP. Which is saying a lot. So, the other game is going to be OTP 21, of course. And we're at least for now going to stick with the Monday-Friday look. I believe either next week or the week after we'll finish the 19th century. And if things start heating up, I'll be more likely to stick to that new series. But if not, we might figure something else out. I'm not sure. The other games you see before you are rainy day games. These are games for when my life is less complicated or I just have more time to play games. Or heck, if we decide to drop one of the OTP 21 series, I'll dive into these again. We will talk about these additional games that you see here. And a bunch of others too. Of all the games you see here, the one I'm most excited to play is Imperator Rome. They're releasing 2.0 in the not too distant future. And a new content pack. And friends, I played EU Rome a fair bit. And the entire time I was like, how can you have this amazing a game and then let it down with such an awful interface? And Imperator Rome has that potential. And unlike other games that haven't done as well for Paradox, they're not letting it go. Which floors me. I'm on my record as stating I love March of the Eagles, and I think it was an amazing game, and I'm very sad that it just died. But they're not letting Imperator Rome die. Probably because it's one of Johan Anderson's projects. But regardless, I'm glad that it's still around here, and it's definitely a game that I want to bring back to the channel. Because I love the setting, I love the game, and I really want to give it another playthrough. Crusader Kings 3 is a no-brainer. The only reason I'm hesitant to play it right now is I think the meta is a little broken. I want to see them rebalance Men-at-Arms, because otherwise you can win stupidly easy victories just by investing heavily in Men-at-Arms and beat like armies that are like 7 times your size. Which just, quite frankly, didn't really happen in the Middle Ages to any great degree. So maybe if the meta gets balanced out a little bit more, they release an expansion, I might return to Crusader Kings 3. Empire of Sin is very good fun, but it's also very complex, and I want to understand some of the intricacies before I bring it to the channel, before I think it's something that I want to feature in a series. y'all know how I feel about XCOM 2 and XCOM games in general, and it's very much that. And I love it so much, and I want to play more of it before I bring it to the channel. This War of Mine, I'm going to go ahead and say conclusively that the next series I play of it, unless we win, and maybe even if we do win, is going to be the last series. Not because I don't love this War of Mine, I do. It's got a very special place in my heart in terms of games that just blew me away. When I first played this War of Mine, does this say when I purchased it? That's the last time I played it. It's not the time I purchased it. This is one of the first games I bought on Steam that I can remember. And it's just... mwah. It's such a perfect marriage of theme and mechanics. It's also a great board game, by the way. I don't own it, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but that might also be something that I'm willing to do for Tabletop Simulator. But I just don't want any one game to get that much play, and I've already done like 7 series of it. So I think one more would be good, fun, and see what we can manage with that. And then lastly, Wingspan is such an easy, quick game that if I'm ever like, okay, life is hard this week, I want to play a Wednesday game, but I don't want to take a huge amount of time on it, I'll probably play Wingspan. It's such a good game. It really is well designed. There's also 2 games I'm not going to show you right now because they're not on Steam, and I'm fundamentally a very lazy person. Phoenix Point and Surviving the Aftermath. Phoenix Point is a game created by people. Julian Gollop, but I can't remember the name of his company at the moment. But Phoenix Point is basically XCOM on steroids. It's really, really well done. That's another game I just want to at least play through more of a campaign before I do it. Because I played it for a while, and then they started releasing these patches and expansions, and then I lost track of it. Mostly because I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk 2077, but also because I've been playing other games too. And so that has led me to my current scenario, which is that I just haven't had enough time to play it to put it on the channel. Much like Empire of Sin. The other game, Surviving the Aftermath, is a really cool survival game. It's published by Paradox, but not developed by them. The company is Finnish, I want to say. They're definitely Northern European, and I think they're Finnish, but they could also be Norwegian. I'm sorry. I instantly pissed off my Scandinavian audience of maybe 2 people, and I'm probably being generous there. I'm not trying to be rude, I just don't remember. I understand that all 3 nations in what may be known as Scandinavia have a very rich cultural tradition and history, whether it's Denmark, Sweden, or Warrior Finland. But I think they're Finnish. If they're not, I might look it up and then say that they're not Finnish. Or I just might continue to forget. But anyway, Surviving the Aftermath is a really cool game about humanity experiencing an apocalypse and then where they go from there. And I've always had a soft spot for good survival games, and I think that's one that I definitely want to bring to the channel. So, when are these games coming to the channel? I hear you asking, possibly with brows furrowed. And the truth is, I don't know. One of the things I want to spend January doing is just having a stable 3 video rotation. Tabletop Simulator, and then OTP21. 2 videos a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Once I let that stabilize in the new year and I see how things are going, I can then decide where I want to slot in an additional game, or if I want to drop one of the OTP series, or even if I decide that I'm going to go crazy and go back to 4 videos a week. I think 3 is the perfect number. Especially because Tabletop Simulator is a game that I can go ahead and batch record. Like I did for Churchill. Like, I finished Churchill in November. It's just taken me that long to finish playing it and then put the videos on the channel. But that's what's coming to the channel. The last thing I wanted to mention is, again, Imperial Struggle, War of the Ring, Marvel Champions, Fleet. Fleet's a very quick little card game that I'd love to show off. It's just a really good game. And there's definitely others, too, that I'd like to cover. And I will definitely give a good hard think about games that I think would be engaging. Maybe we go mega old school and play a game of chess. Especially, I know Queen's Gambit is the latest thing on Netflix. It's on our queue. We haven't watched it yet, though. We've been watching Star Wars: The Clone Wars on Disney Plus. But and The Mandalorian, of course. But if you guys want to see chess, I'm more than happy to teach it to you guys. I really do enjoy chess when I get the chance to play it. It's just been a very long time since I had a chance to play it. But I think that's enough of me just yabbering. Yabbering? I think I was going to say yapping and then jabbering, and then I somehow made it into yabbering. Is that my new catchphrase? I don't know. I hope not. But that's what's coming in 2021 to the channel. I just wanted to let you folks know what was going to be happening short term and long term. Thank all of you who supported me through 2020, which was a shitty year for many people, myself not excluded. Although some good things happened in 2020 for me, it was generally outweighed by just things being terrible for everyone. And let me close this by saying I wish all of you a very happy holiday season. If you celebrate Hanukkah, that's already ongoing. If you celebrate any of the other holidays, those are still to come. Don't worry, we'll still see each other when I post new videos for OTP21 and Tabletop Simulator. Tabletop Simulator will resume in January of 2021. And that's because, conveniently, Sid Meier's Civilization 6 is going to run until the end of 2020. So you're still going to get 3 videos a week. It's just one of them won't be Tabletop Simulator until we circle round back to January. I've also got some really cool games coming to me in the mail. And even some games that I kickstarted that are finally coming out. Shores of Tripoli. I'm super excited for that one. Shores of Tripoli is about the early 19th century intervention of the United States against the Barbary pirates. And if it sounds like, wow, Avi, that's incredibly obscure, it is. But I backed that. It was one of the first games I ever backed on Kickstarter. So hopefully that'll be coming soon. I'm very excited for that one. So good. But I wish you all a very merry holiday season, whichever holidays you celebrate. I wish you the very best for the remainder of 2020. And in particular, thank you all to everyone who's ever subscribed to my channel. If you've clicked like on a video or sent me a comment, that's even better. But if all you've ever done is come to my channel, looked at a video, and said, this isn't really for me, I thank you too. Because anyone who's exposed to my content hopefully gets something out of it, even if it's just one view for a few minutes. Maybe it inspires you to say, Avi's channel is a dumpster fire inside a nuclear reactor that's being bombarded by neutrinos from space. I'm going to start my own channel. And then your channel turns out to be amazing. And I end up following it later on, and I become a devoted fan. So if you've ever interacted with me whatsoever, thank you for your support. And subscribe, comment, like, all the YouTube things. Last but not least, follow me on Twitter for channel updates and other things that I opine about, some of which you might care about, like the Baseball Hall of Fame, others which you may not. But until next time, this has been Avindian. thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.